Welcome inside the Bloomington Ice Garden. It's a Metro West battle, the second meeting of the year between the visitors from Benilde St. Margarets and the Jefferson Jaguars. Alongside our crew, this is Josh Powers. On BEC-TV, the number 2 team in the state is the Benilde St. Margaret Red Knights, off to a perfect 6-0 record. Joined by Andy Kubis. Andy, great to have you on the broadcast. You have a very extensive background in the game of hockey as a player, collegiately, as a scout after your playing career. But the tale for Benilde is pretty easy. They're deep, they're talented, and they have a great chance at a state title run this year.
Yeah, they really do, Josh. I tell you what, they're just watching them warm up, you can tell. They've got a lot of depth. They're really, really deep. Got a couple of players already committed to got with number 6, the defenseman there, is going to Colorado College. Let's be honest, it's going to be yeoman's work here for the Jefferson Jaguars, but I talked to Coach Terwilliger before the game. He's put a couple wrinkles in play with the forecheck. We've got a new goalie starting tonight, didn't start last time in Swanson, and so he seemed optimistic that his team's going to give up a good fight, wants to get in on that forecheck, and that'd be fun to see how it happens. It's why we play 60 minutes. We can look on paper and see how it looks, but we're excited.
These teams did play earlier this year. Second game of the year, Benilde defeated Jefferson 5-2, and they piled up 53 shots in that game. Jefferson's going to need to limit their opportunity. They're probably not going to hold them to 10 or 15 or something like that, but a more reasonable number, maybe around 30, 35, would give Jefferson a chance in this one.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think this Benilde team plays what I say is they play heavy. They get down to your offensive zone, they start rolling around, and you get chasing. By the time you get to have the puck, it's time to change, and so that's just hard sometimes to overcome, but it's a new day, and we'll see if the adjustments that the Jefferson Jaguars made can hold them to, like you said, that 30-35 shot mark and give themselves a chance.
You mentioned the new goaltender, Luke Swanson. We saw him make his first career start against Shasta. Looked very good in that game, albeit in a loss, gave up 3 goals. If he can give up 3 goals tonight, that's going to certainly give Jefferson a chance. He had 43 saves in that game. Looked pretty good in his debut, so young goaltender, only a sophomore. We'll see if he's up to the challenge here tonight.
Yeah, I've known Swanee a long, long time. Watch him grow up through the system here as I coach at the Jefferson level. And I tell you what, he's really technically sound. He battles, and I think that's what you want from a goaltender. He battles. He makes sure he's in the right angles, and he gives you. All you want is make the save and give us a chance, and Luke does that time and time again. So be interesting to see how he does with the top-ranked team here.
Jefferson coming off of a tough loss on Saturday, played a very strong game against St. Louis Park, but fell 5-4 in a back-and-forth game. So at least offensively coming into this game on a strong note.
Yeah, I've had the luxury of watching this team develop, and I think they're getting better and better as they find their feet after the pause, certainly. And so I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch, and come into the
While we collect the pucks, so just
all right, we're going to send it down to our house announcer, Joe Mewisen, to meet the starting lineups. We'll have our national anthem here at the Bloomington Ice Guard. Jefferson and Benilde coming up shortly.
You can also watch the live stream on Facebook. And don't forget to let your friends know if they can't be here tonight. All right. Let's get our introductions underway so we can get the game going here. Starting lineups, we'll begin with the Red Knights. Starting in goal, it's number 30, Carson Limesand. On defense, number 6, Tristan Sarsland. And number 19, James Callahan. The wings, number 9, Adam Marshall. And number 21, Asher Conley. And starting at center, it's number 8, Jackson Bisson. The head coach is Ken Pauley. The assistant coaches are Casey McCula, Derek Raymond, and John Russo. Now let's meet the home team, Jefferson Jaguars. Starting in goal, it's number 30, Luke Swanson. The defenders, number 19, Nick Hatton, and number 22, Pierce Tomka. The wings, number 10, Benny Getters, and number 11, Brady Burton. And starting at center, it's number 18, Brett Herbert. The head coach is Mike Terwilliger. The assistant coach is Bill Sawyer, Matt Elson, and Michael Friedman. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and direct your attention to the east side of the arena. It is time to honor the United States of America with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, we are ready for this one on a Tuesday night in central Bloomington. Rink 3 here at historic Bloomington Ice Garden alongside Andy Kubis, Josh Powers, and our BEC-TV crew. Great to be here. Get to see the number 2 team in all of the state. In Class 2A, that is, Benilde. They have been impressive. Just looking over their roster, Andy, their top 6 forwards, a combined nearly 400 games played. That is incredible stuff.
Yeah, they're a strong team, as we keep saying, and so it's going to be a yo-person's task here from the Jefferson Jaguars to keep them contained. But like you mentioned earlier, if we can keep the shots low and get Swanee to make some saves and get that forecheck going, you never know what happens. As an old coach used to tell me, the other team gets to try too, so we'll see how we go do.
And power plays could be big for Jefferson. They are 35.4% this year on the power play. That is just outstanding stuff for the Jaguars. We'll see if they get some power play opportunities in this one. Face-off controlled by Benilde. That top line so potent. Asher Connolly, Jackson Bisson, Adam Marshall. Here is Bisson. Pad save Swanson, getting tested early. Rebound to Connolly. 2 seniors and a junior. Marshall only a junior already with 62 career games played. James Callahan back there out with Tristan Sarsland, the future Colorado College D1 commit. As you mentioned, they're not only experienced on the forwards, their backline's experienced, and oh, by the way, their goalie Carson Limesand is making his 74th career start between the pipes.
Yeah, really good. Good play there by 11th player on Jefferson, getting that puck out. Benilde was starting to roll around a little bit, so let's see if we can change the momentum here.
Face-off won by Benilde. Snapped off wrist shot by Brady Yakish. Stick to side by Luke Swanson. He was very poised against Chaska when we saw him last week for his first career start against a pretty good Chaska team, high flying. He certainly lived up to his end of the bargain with 43 saves. So far it's just been Benilde and Jefferson's end as it's thrown out front. Kyle Davis, nice job to get in the way of that passing lane, sends it to center. Yakish right back in, bounces it off the wall. Wearing that assistant captain's A on his sweater. Only a junior though for the Red Knights. Icing the call here on Jefferson. They're 2-4 this year. Wins against Kennedy and Chanhassen. Came close against St. Louis Park. Most recently, it's a very good St. Louis Park team too, Andy. Jefferson played well in that game. It was back and forth. It wasn't like Jefferson had a few lucky goals in there. They could have easily won that game on Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard great things about the way they kept coming back, kept fighting back into the game. So
Jefferson was down 3 times in that game and equalized before giving up the go-ahead goal with less than 8 minutes left. In the corner, Logan Bonney for the Jaguars. Off the stick of AJ Wang, but it's picked up by Aiden Rasabandith for Jefferson. Jaguars will go 3 lines deep on their forwards. And already all 3 have gotten out there here in the early going.
See number 10 there for Benilde St. Margaret's. New addition to the team. I talked to their assistant coach just a little while ago and said, keep an eye on that guy.
That's Drew Stewart. He's only a freshman. Benilde, known for giving freshmen and sophomores a chance. Obviously, you don't have the career starts that their top forwards have that experience if they're only playing as juniors and seniors. And that third line for Benilde, 2 freshmen and a junior, Michael Risto, also a freshman for them. So they're very experienced on the first and second line, not so much on their third and fourth lines. Maybe that's an area where Jefferson could try to take advantage, trying to hold those top 2 lines as much at bay as possible. Difficult to do, no one's done it yet. That's why Benilde 6-0. That one off the side of the net. Rebound scooped up by Brady Burton, and now Pierce Tomka. Tomka being harassed by a heavy forecheck for the Red Knights. Out to the point, Ben Thompson fires, and they score!
Yeah, like you mentioned, that heavy forecheck, they just take away time and space, and so Tomka was stuck there, time 2 guys on him, puck gets turned over, goes back to the point, and a shot that I believe Swanson probably didn't see all of it, but it was a great shot, and that forecheck is lethal.
And you could hear it just brush the underside of the crossbar, so tucked just below that crossbar. I think it's going to be a goal for Ben Thompson, which would be his first career goal for the Red Knights, the junior. And it is Thompson, so nice moment for him with his first career varsity goal, and the Red Knights have a lead less than 3 minutes in. And already 4 shots on goal for Benilde. See our shots on goal counter on your scoreboard, top of your screen. That's that 4 number for Benilde. See Jefferson yet to record a shot on goal. It's Kyle Davis. He'll play it through neutral, and it's touched into the zone by Parker Boone. Boone heads to the forecheck, but Jefferson completing a change as it's slid the other way by the Red Knights. Samuel Lahl back for it with Rasta Bandit, but it's pried away by Benilde. Jonah Mortensen tried to throw it out front, intercepted by Wang, but plays it too far ahead. This is where Benilde gets you, Andy. They just own that neutral ice as it's sent right in again, holding at that time Swanson.
For sure, from coaching and just watching the game, that neutral zone is the speed zone. That's where you want to go straight lines, and they just clog it up. They don't let you do that. You turn the puck over and it's right back, and your back's to the play trying to get it out. So they're really good at it.
Fanning on the initial wrist shot was Bjorn Lervik, a junior number 4, but plays it down deep. Benilde such a strong ground game. Good block shot there, Benny Getters. One of Jefferson's top players and leading scorer on this year's team, as Swanson gets a piece of that shot with the glove. Unable to get Getters in open ice as Herbert's pass was a little off target. Now a Karam's over to Getters. Getters trying to utilize that speed. Tried to play it for Herbert. Jefferson's top line out there right now with Hatton, Herbert, and Getters, the forwards. And settling it back is the goal scorer, Ben Thompson. Coming up on 5 minutes gone by here, first period. Benilde out front early in the second game between the two this year. Poked at by Parker Boone, but too far to capture it. Other way, Jackson Bisson 2-on-2, snaps one off and misses wide. Bisson with 21 career goals, the senior co-captain for Benilde.
Great job by Jefferson there, slowing them down in the neutral zone. I think this is probably what Coach Terwilliger was talking about when he talked about this new forecheck, really clogging up the lanes, making sure they don't have a lot of speed going through. But Benilde's so good at putting that puck deep, and like I said, making the defenseman turn. That's their strength of one of the strengths of their game.
Captured by Nick Hatton, the co-captain for Jefferson, sends it in at the end of his shift. First shot on goal for Carson Limesand, the senior. In his 4th year on the varsity for the Red Knights as a goaltender. Don't see that often. Long distance shot, Brady Burton. Easy enough for Limesand. Burton checks his options. Dangerous pass across. Kicked out of there by Adam Marshall. Burton able to recover. Burton stops on a dime. This is where Jefferson, it's going to be difficult, but if they can win some of these puck battles and exit the zone efficiently, that's going to help them in this game.
Absolutely. You got to be organized coming out of your zone, and it looks like they've got some semblance of organization in that last exchange.
Grant Ellings shot disrupted by Kyle Davis, and it goes wide. Ellings to Mortensen. Back for Ellings behind the net. Being harassed by Logan Bonney. And now Davis will get a crack at it in the corner. Bonney over there as well with Tate Noble. Mortensen emerges as it bounces out front. Davis plays it to the half wall. And now it's Nick Mikan to the point. Thompson fed it across to Yakish, who misses wild to the left. And now Thompson at the top of the zone. His wrister right on, looking for that second goal of the period, but it is smothered by Luke Swanson, the sophomore in his 2nd career start. 43 saves against Chaska, 93.5 save percentage. If you can keep those numbers up, along with that goals against of 3 or less, Jefferson would take that for sure. And
again, maturity beyond the sophomore, quite frankly, to understand what was happening there, stop the flow, and just get a reset, get a line change. Really, really smart on his behalf.
They battle for it down low, are merging with it Aaron Daniels. So there's a nice puck battle win for the Jaguars. It leads to a clear, and Limesand has to cover that long distance shot from Blake Wanmacher, who played against his cousin on Saturday for St. Louis Park.
Well, I like this. You know, what we're happening now is Jefferson's got a face-off in the Benilde end, and this is how you change momentum. A lot of people think that you have to score a goal, but let's get a face-off. Let's get rolling around there. Let's get another face-off, just like happened now. And let's establish ourselves in the offensive zone and start rolling around, playing heavy. Benilde does such a good job of supporting each other with the puck. Now let's see if Jefferson can do the same thing and begin to take some of the momentum back.
Well, this is where Jefferson can create some of those extra opportunities. They're not going to win a game going up and down the ice with the Benilde, unlikely to do so, but they can get some set piece opportunities and create situations off face-offs in the opposing end. That's going to help them. Here's a drive from deep, and it's patted away by Limesand. It's Gordy Gombold with a nice wrist shot from the point. Jefferson keeps the pressure back on as Tristan Sarsland goes back for it. Turned over. It's Logan Bonney between the circles down low, and Limesand sticked it away and then covered the rebound. So Jefferson there, you talked about that new forecheck. You see it right there, forcing a turnover and a couple of cracks on Carson Limesand.
Yeah, just right away you're seeing those two wingers come down the wall almost every time to put pressure on the D, and Coach Terwilliger talked about it, making sure that they're putting pressure on the D so that they have to play with their face in the glass, and that's how you turn pucks over and give yourself opportunities like you talked about. Jefferson's not going to win a track meet. They're going to win by playing smart.
Oh my goodness, that one sneaks by Swanson. And Benilde has scored for the 2nd time.
Yeah, just coming down the right side and shot along the ice that just trickles through. It looked like it went through the 5-4 of Swanson.
I believe it's Adam Marshall. May have been deflected on the way through by the stick of Pierce Tomka. So an unfortunate one there for the Jaguars, and their play had started to improve. That's how quickly, though, Benilde can attack you.
Yeah, when you're the number 2 team in the state, you've got lots of firepower. Although it wasn't the strongest shot, we saw the controlling the rush. So here we go back and see how Jefferson can do here.
33rd career goal for Adam Marshall. As Benilde back on it again. Asher Connolly down there battling with Nick Hatton. Comes over in the direction of Parker Boone. Yakish keeps it alive in the zone. Bisson takes a shot, but got it over to Connolly. Connolly, cross-ice pass. Tomka got a piece of it. Now Marshall, who scored a moment ago, top of the zone. Wrister patted away. Nice save by Swanson. As Aaron Daniels chips it off the wall to center. Quick change for Jefferson.
See Jefferson, they're playing a lot of defense in their end, and then by the time you get control of the puck and you're ready to do something, you got to dump it and change. It's hard to get momentum that way. You need some face-offs. You need some turnovers down here in this end of the ice.
Logan Bonney trying to generate a turnover, nearly did, but it was kicked to center by Mortensen. Nick Mikan in front of the Jaguar bench. Sends it the rest of the way, under 8 left first period. 2-0 Benilde, the number 2 team in the state, undefeated to this point. They had a pretty good experience here last Thursday, Andy. They faced Kennedy, won 12-0, so they've got some good vibes in this building already this year.
Yeah, they're feeling pretty good about themselves in this arena for sure.
Line drive, held long enough by Swanson to get the to get the whistle in a face-off. That was Tristan Sarsland.
Yeah, you can see Tristan shaking his head a little bit. He knows he should have kept that puck low. He shot it chest high, and it was an easy save for Swanson. If you could do it over again, I'm guessing you'd put it 6 inches off the ice and look for a rebound.
Herbert able to win that draw for Jefferson around for Benny Getters. Top line out there, but it's an icing call here.
Yeah, that's what you get when you continue to get time and space taken away. Sometimes when you get that puck, you want to make a play, and you got more time than you think. And so I know Coach Terwilliger is probably saying the same thing over on the bench, Coach Elson and Coach Frito as well. But it's going to settle into this game. Down 2-0. It's hard to chase a hockey game, but establish that forecheck and see what happens.
Another face-off win for the Jaguars. Burton slides it to Herbert. It's 2-on-2 with Getters. Getters trying to track it down, but it's poked to the corner by Callahan. Here's Herbert, snaps one off, and it deflects just high. There's that Jaguar forecheck again, causing some problems for Benilde down in this end. This time, though, dug free by the Red Knights. Herbert keeps it alive. Here's Getters with Herbert in front. Getters waits, and his shot was blocked by Sarsland. Long pass the other way. It was behind the red line, so onside. Good physical play there from Gordy Gombold. Drive from the point, out front. Gombold, stick flies up into the rafters. Not sure I've seen that one before, but Jefferson's able to get it out of the zone.
A couple years ago, I was doing a Jefferson game. Ryan Graff stick did the exact same thing. It flew up in the air. He caught it, and then he scored the goal.
He's used to that with his lacrosse exploits.
You're exactly right.
So that doesn't surprise me one bit, actually. Nick Hatton helping to dig that from the corner for Jefferson, sent to center by Aaron Daniels. Brady Yakish finds Risto, the freshman. Sends one right on, and it's held by Luke Swanson already with 10 saves in this game.
Yeah, you mentioned the Jefferson forecheck, so just watching as a scout, if you will, I'm watching them take that center and put them really high up by the blue line, almost in between the two defensemen. Every time the puck's on the wall, they'll run the defenseman or the winger down, the center covers, and so far, Benilde's had a tough time breaking that.
Face-off win to Tristan Sarsland, and his line drive caught out of the air by Luke Swanson.
That's the second one there where Tristan's got it up head high, and like I said, I think he's hoping maybe put it a little longer and hit a stick on behalf of. We'll see what he does here with this chance.
This one, same spot, same result. That time he had more traffic in front. The first one, that was an easy save for Swanson. That one had his vision disrupted a little bit, players flashing in front, but made the save anyway.
Coach Terwilliger makes a change, lost a couple of draws in a row there, and see if we can change things up and change the chemistry here.
Herbert, who just won the last draw, would have won that one again, but it's whistled dead. Another face-off win to Sarsland, another wrist shot. That one blocked out front. Sprinting to the corner, Drew Stewart, the freshman. He's got some juice in those skates. Blocker to side by Swanson, rebound deflected wide. Swanson bodied up by Herbert, and now a puck stolen by Brady Burton. Burton being harassed from behind by Mitchell Dockman, but got it into the Benilde end anyway. Here's Getters from the corner, trying to spin free of traffic. Daniels joins him. And it's taken by Risto. Will try to exit the zone on the far side. And deflected puck. This could be problematic for Jefferson. It's an odd man 2-on-1 with a backhand save by Swanson and a big rebound. Sitting there momentarily, and then blocked by Parker Boone. Jefferson dodges a bullet there. So slide to goaltender Carson Limesand, who will freeze it with 4:36 left in the first period.
Again, Jefferson trying to establish that forecheck. That last line down there was Getters and Daniels, and they did a good job of rolling around and creating some turnovers. So again, this is the way you want to start changing a momentum. Win a draw here, get puck rolling around, get some shots.
I like the aggressive approach. It took kind of really an awkward carom to get by that Jaguar forecheck that ended up developing in that 2-on-1. Drop back pass, Thompson rifles one but misses wide. Connolly sends it to the point. Another save, Swanson, as Aaron Daniels plays the rebound away from trouble, but it'll result in a Jaguar icing as Benilde seeing that shot total pile up now. 18 saves, or 18 shots now, 16 saves. Another look at that 2-on-1 here, Andy.
Yeah, that's that number 10 we were talking about, Drew Stewart. So again, I was talking to the assistant coach beforehand. He kind of looked at me and winked and said, keep an eye on number 10. And sure enough, like you said, he's got some juice in his boots and he's got some good hands. And he's making a lot of good plays with and without the puck.
At 5'7", 145, I'm familiar with those numbers, Andy. To play at that level, you need to have that speed and agility, something I never had, but yeah. Drew has that for Benilde.
Yeah, you need one of those things, either really, really smart or really, really quick, and it looks like he's got both. And so, yeah, he's playing really well.
3:46 left here, first period. We'll have more Jaguar hockey on Saturday. It'll be the Battle of Bloomington Part 2. Jefferson will look for the sweep. We'll have JV coverage for you at 1 o'clock. Varsity 3:15 right here on BEC-TV. Here's Tomka. Wins a puck battle but ran into Mortensen. Here's Mikan behind the Jaguar net. Watch there by Gansky for Jefferson. And another glove save for Luke Swanson, that time a wrister from James Callahan.
Hey, that face-off that the Jaguars just lost, if they try to jam it up the strong side, and a really good play on that would be to bring it over to the weak side where there's more ice. It looked like they were trying to do that, they got caught up, but look for that this time where they'll try to bring it to that weak side or the left side of Swanson and come up that way where there's not as many players. That's what most teams like to do if they win the draw in the defensive zone.
Sarsland sends it over to Callahan, who misses wide on a long-distance shot. Marshall taking control, circling. Finds Sarsland, one-timer, misses wide. Didn't get all of it. Marshall picks it back up, but gave it away to Brady Burton, who lost his edge, then flips it in. Herbert. Sarsland gets it back to center. Asher Connolly overskates it. And caught up offside here at the Jaguar blue line with 2:48 left in the first period.
Yeah, 18-6 shots. Luke Swanson's doing a great job of keeping them in the game. But with 18 shots, that's just a lot of rubber to handle. So hopefully, again, we can establish some forecheck here, make sure that we're getting some shots. One goal and you're right back in this game.
Absolutely. That's kind of what Jefferson did in the earlier game against Benilde. It was 4-2 till late in that game. That's what you're looking for as an underdog here. You want to hang around. And the forecheck for Jefferson looks promising. Benilde digs that one free. And another block shot, that time Blake Wanmacher sends it out of play.
Benilde does such a good job of playing without the puck. So if you watch the guys who don't have the puck, they're supporting the puck, they're moving and getting in positions, and then the passes that they receive are only ones that they could really get to. They're 80-20 pucks, and they get you running around.
Ken Pauley in his 28th season at Benilde with 472 wins for the Red Knights. So there's some experience at the coaching staff as well. Mike Terwilliger trying to build that at Jefferson. Offside at the line. You see a lot of choppy ice right here without resurfacing between the warm-up and the first period. It'll be slow going along the wall for the last 2:12. They'll resurface at intermission.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the same thing as if you're the fans at home or ever watch those outdoor games. When the ice gets choppy like that, you just got to simplify your game. The cross ice passes usually don't work. You want to go in straight lines and get the puck deep and attack that way.
Gets by Pierce Tomka, but it won't stagger far enough for icing as it's waved off. Back for it, Nick Hatton. Dug free though by Grant Ellings. Ooh, stick broke directly in half for James Callahan, and we've got a penalty coming. So Jefferson takes advantage of that equipment malfunction, and they'll get a power play.
Yeah, coming through the middle of the ice, maybe the end of the shift and not as strong feet, but either way, he was interfered with, and that's looks like that's the call.
And you mentioned ways Jefferson can hang around in this game. We talked about it at the top, but 35.3% on the power play, Andy. That is video game-like numbers for Jefferson.
It really is.
You're happy with 20%. Jefferson nearly double that so far this year.
Yeah, they're really good. They have a really good scheme with the power play, and let's see how they got to get set up and just let the puck settle. But let's see how they do once they get settled against a really strong Benilde team.
Getters, Herbert, Aaron Daniels, along with Brady Burton and Kyle Davis. But short-handed at center, and then Getters slips against, again, that choppy ice. They might have numbers the other way. Here's Herbert, drops it for Aaron Daniels. He will set things up on the power play for Jefferson with 1:25 running. Brett Herbert spins away from trouble. Cross ice for Getters, broken up though, and a nice stick by Brady Yakish. Getters recovers as that floats to the corner. Final minute of the period. Burton digs it free. Burton drive, and it's caught by Carson Limesand. So good zone time on the power play right there for Jefferson, moving it around nicely.
Yeah, all set up by Aaron Daniels. If you watch, Aaron Daniels came in over. A lot of kids would have shot the puck out of desperation. He actually controlled it at the top of the circle, waited to set it up, got the puck deep, and all of that happens because Daniels made the right play.
Burton digs it free. Getters stretches to keep that one in. His wrists are tipped out front. Limesand comes up big there. Good stick by Burton, but he couldn't play the puck because it was played with a high stick. That allowed Benilde to clear the zone. Big time save right there by Carson Limesand. I thought Jefferson was going to get one there. Still 40 in the power play, so this will bleed over into the second period if Jefferson does not score. Still top unit out there. Pretty much for the duration of this power play. See if they can manufacture an opportunity. Final 10 seconds. Herbert diving for it. Burton. 3 seconds. And long enough for Swanson to hang on to it and avoid an opportunity the other way. So the first period comes to a close. Andy, Jefferson did some good things, but at the end of the day, number 2 team in the state showed you why through the first 17 minutes.
Absolutely, great team, but I'm really impressed, serendipitously to get the Jefferson Jaguars get the power play at the end of the game, and that's what changes momentum. You don't necessarily need to score. At some point you do, but you can establish yourself, you can establish your forecheck, you can establish some shots. And like I said, a 2-0 game, you score the next goal and you're right back in it. So it'll be an entertaining second period to be sure.
And 8 shots on goal for Jefferson. Remember last time against Benilde, they had just 15 in the entire game. So offensively, Jefferson doing a much better job manufacturing some scoring chances.
Yep, and as we keep saying that forecheck already, I can see the dividends being paid by that. Again, they're keeping their center or their high forward really high and just being aggressive with those wings down the wall, knowing that they've got help out high. And so far, Benilde hasn't been able to figure it out. We know, like you said, Coach Pauly been around a long, long time. I'm sure he's making adjustments right now, but I'm sure Coach Terwilliger will do the same.
2-0 Benilde, goals by Ben Thompson and Adam Marshall. We'll take a short break and be back for the second period. It's Jaguar hockey against Benilde here on BEC-TV.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Back at the Ice Garden, getting ready to start period number 2. Benilde leading Jefferson 2-0 here in the first intermission. Goals by Ben Thompson and Adam Marshall for the Red Knights. Jefferson currently on a power play, 13 more seconds of it when we start the second period. Alongside our crew, Josh Powers with you on BEC-TV. Glad to be bringing you Jaguar hockey. Let's take a look at the first period highlights from this one. Benilde piling up 19 shots. Jefferson did get 8 shots. So 17 saves for the sophomore Luke Swanson. Continuing the impressive start for him on the season. There was the early goal, Ben Thompson. As it kisses underneath the crossbar. Jefferson would have some chances. That one not a great one. Carson Limezan 8 saves in the period. Jefferson did get some extra chances on offensive zone face-offs. The Jaguars forecheck also with that turnover. Forecheck started to get involved. I think that's a good sign for Jefferson here in the next 2 periods. It's a tough goal, though. I think this ricocheted off of Pierce Tomka's stick, and did it have to go right in the 5-hole of Luke Thompson? I mean, those things happen. More from Swanson getting help that time from Samuel Lull. Luke Swanson, 17 saves. And then Jefferson did get a power play late in the period, right here on an interference. And they'll have 13 more seconds when we start the second period. Andy Kubis, excuse me.
Yeah, we got 13 seconds left, and as we said over and over in that first period, if Jefferson can establish some kind of a ground game, make sure that they get rolling around in that Benilde St. Margaret end, it's really a close game. Swanson, again, as I said at the beginning, really technically sound, battles well, understands what to do with the puck often. If you really watch him, he'll put the puck out of play when he needs to. He'll hang on to it when he senses that his team needs a break. He's going to be key in this, as we talked about. You know, hopefully if we can keep him to 30 or 35 shots. But here we got 13 seconds to establish something, and then you build on it. You get a 50-50 shift, and then the next time you might get a 75-25 shift, and all of a sudden you pop one in. That's just the way the game works. It's been like that for 100 years. So hopefully we can see Jefferson do something like that here.
Saw Ken Pauley there on the right. Head coach for Benilde. There's the Jaguars entering their bench. Head coach Mike Terwilliger, Matt Elson, Michael Friedman, Bill Sawyer, the assistants.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I talked to the coaching staff beforehand. They were confident about their preparation. Again, it goes without saying, but the number 2 team in the state as your opponent, you better prepare, and it looks like they've done that. They've established the forecheck when they can get down there. And again, if you can just stop Benilde from rolling around in your end and playing without the puck, if you can gain that and come back the other way, it's a really close hockey game, and one goal will make a difference here. So we'll see how we do.
Jefferson hasn't made a lot of mistakes, given up a lot of odd man rushes in this game. So just if they're able to neutralize that forecheck of Benilde and exit the zone more efficiently, there's going to be opportunities for them to get back into this game. Final few seconds of that power play that crossed over to the second period right now as Swanson holds.
We were talking about not giving up a lot of odd man rushes, and you're absolutely right. You know, they're a well-coached team. Coach Terwilliger and his staff are very good coaches. And so what I noticed just standing up here is they sort and track really well. And what I mean by that is when they're coming back on the back check, they sort out who they're supposed to have, and they track that guy all the way to the net. And that's the sign of a well-coached team.
Marshall turns and fires as the penalty is over. Benilde back to 5-on-5. And Jefferson 0 for 1 on the power play. Such a strength for them this year with already 6 power play goals. They're averaging a power play goal per game. That's going to win you some hockey games. It's certainly helped Jefferson in the young season.
Yeah, I can already see a little bit of a shift from Jefferson here in that neutral zone regroup. What I mean by that is when Benilde goes D to D, you watch Jefferson just sending one guy now and locking up the wings. Now, whether that was a mid-period adjustment or in the intermission adjustment, I'm noticing that different than what I saw in the first period. Either way, whether it was coach motivated or player motivated, it's a great move.
Brady Yakish drive. Pad save from Luke Swanson. Jefferson heading the other way. Touched ahead by Brett Herbert. It's onside. Kyle Davis trying to track it down along with Herbert. Ellings unable to get it past Parker Boone. There's Jefferson being pesky once again. It's a turnover. Boone out front. Saved by Limesand. Great opportunity there.
Yeah, again, you get those wingers coming down the wall, and it doesn't look like Benilde's figured that out yet. They've turned it over at least 4 times in my count, and it's led to 3 scoring opportunities, and so keep it up.
Traffic out front in the person of Jonah Mortensen. It looked like Swanson took a stick, maybe to the arm. Was able to cover it in time.
Yeah, Luke's really good at being in position, and so a lot of times when you can't see the puck, if you're in the right position as a goalie, you're going to let that puck's going to hit you and you're going to be just fine. But here we are on that turnover that we talked about. That forecheck worked, came around, and we got a good scoring chance there by the Jaguars.
There's Parker Boone on that opportunity. That drive from Callahan blocked by the Jaguars. Boone checks his options, but got shoved into that half wall. But a bad pass out of the reach of Sarsland. It'll go all the way down.
Great block there by Blake Wanmaker. Getting in the lane, you know, we always say stick on puck, body on body, and he got his shin pad right there. He's going to pay for it. He's going to have a bruise in the morning, but he stopped an opportunity there. And then, you know, I had a coach, a really good coach, who would say it takes 3 mistakes to cause a goal. And so, you know, if you're playing that from the Jefferson Jaguars standpoint, we had an unforced icing by Benilde here. Here's your first mistake. Now you got to face off in that zone. You win a draw and you see what happens, and all of a sudden that's how goals get scored. That's how momentum gets turned around. So let's see what Jefferson can do with that.
Back-to-back bad passes from Benilde set up that icing. They had possession in the Jaguar zone. Here's Tomka. Can he hold the line? He can. Sarsland, though, backhands it ahead as that top line of Connolly, Bisson, and Marshall are out there. Here is Bisson. Finds Marshall, who scored last period. Another block shot by the Jaguars, this time by Nick Hatton.
Yeah, I really like Nick Hatton's game. He started as a sophomore last year and has impressed me every time he plays. He's really smart, gets himself in good position. He's not overly big, he's not overly physical, but he's got a great stick, and he keeps people on the outside. So he'll continue to grow into a great player, but I've been impressed since I've seen him last year.
Certainly he has the respect of the team and staff. It's not often you're an assistant captain as a junior, but that's happened to Nick Hatton this year. Here's Benny Getters off a face-off win. It was deflected. So icing waved off. Herbert nearly forces another Benilde turnover, but look out, here comes Tristan Sarsland. The future D1 product all the way in, and it looked like Swanson was able to get a piece of it with the stick.
And then you saw in that rush as Benilde came in, Brady Burton, again, I talked about sorting and tracking. He picked up the right guy, and it really turned into a 3-on-3 and a shot that really wasn't a strong shot for Benilde, but had Brady picked the wrong guy, now you're looking at a 2-on-1 and maybe even a tap-in goal in the back door.
Deflected by Herbert to avoid the icing. Limesand leaves it for Brady Yakish. Yakish ahead out of the reach of Connolly, but swatted in by Marshall at the end of a shift. Jefferson transition game. Pierce Tomka sends it around the wall, but apparently hadn't reached the red line.
Yeah, it happened right in front of us here, and you know, one more stride, I think he would have been over.
Usually if you're that close, they give it to you. Andy, here's that last chance by Tristan Sarsland, terrific player for Benilde.
Yeah, and you see coming in the screen there, the Jefferson back checkers, which evened out the rush, and Luke made a great save.
He committed to, here's a rebound and a goal for the Red Knights. Michael Risto, the freshman, with his second goal of the year. Benilde cleans one up in front for a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and that's the player we talked about at the beginning of the game, who's a new addition to Benilde, and he's got, as you said, he's got some juice in his skates, and they've saved that puck for him. That's his number, his first goal, and they saved that puck for him, and that's something that'll stay on his on one of his shells for a long, long time.
Thank you for correcting my mistake. Risto gets an assist, but it's Drew Stewart, the goal for Benilde.
Yeah, lost draws are always tough. You know, hockey is the only game where you really have to, every time that there's a change of possession, it's a 50-50 puck. And so you got to control draws, you got to control them in your own end, and otherwise they often lead to mistakes. I often tell my centermen, you don't need to win the draw, you just can't lose it. And so a 50-50 or a disruptive draw is okay, but when you lose it clean and they get possession, sometimes bad things happen.
So the Red Knights have added one here in the second period, making the task tougher for Jefferson, but here they come on a break. It's Wanmacher to Parker Boone, who gets hauled down from behind, and there is a penalty. Was gonna say I didn't see an arm in the air initially. Was about to start getting angry here on air, Andy, but it was called by an official in the corner.
Yeah, the corner official got the up ice official got the slash. He could have picked from any of 4 penalties there. It was a trip, it was a hold, it was a slash. But again, as we keep saying, this is a great opportunity to establish something now. And so pop one in and see what happens, but control the play and get some momentum back.
It was close to a penalty shot situation even, Andy. It was, I think if Boone had maybe a half step more, I think you would have seen a penalty shot there.
Well, I'm as guilty as anyone. My first look is for the crossed arms there to see if it was a penalty shot.
Yeah. So power play number 2 for Jefferson as Hatton holds the line. He's joined by Burton along with Getters and Herbert, and this time Aaron Daniels, part of that 5 as Benilde clears.
Looks like Jefferson sets up in a traditional overload, then moves to an umbrella as the puck gets on top. That way they got guys on both walls. They can attack from either side, and then they've got the bumper, usually in Daniels, and so hopefully they can establish something here.
Lifted through the zone. Hatton's going to have to get on his horse. You see the speed of Adam Marshall chasing him down and drawing precious power play time off the clock. Here's Burton. He is whipped down. And no call. Benilde fortunate there. Goodness.
Yeah, and I could hear the Jefferson coaching staff also wondering where that call was.
Terrific move by Brady Burton. Tried to get past one last defender and then gave up the puck. It's Bassan the other way. Short-handed. Joined by Yakish. Bassan waits and fires, and it misses wide. Under a minute now in the power play. Top unit for Jefferson still out there. Remember, they went about 1:40 at the end of the second period on the man advantage, as the Jaguars will now change. It's Wanmacher. His cross ice pass tipped away by James Callahan. Mikan picked it up, nearly turned it over, but it's played the other way as we're down to 22 seconds in the man advantage.
And Benilde doing nothing but clogging up that neutral zone, making it really difficult for Jefferson to establish any kind of presence with that. And this is where we talk about straight lines in the zone.
It's a hand pass here on a diving play by Blake Wanmacher. Unfortunately, that'll send the face-off the other way. Just 11 seconds remain on the second Jaguar power play.
And that goes all the way down into the Jefferson zone with a hand pass in the opposition zone.
The freshman Stewart wins the draw for Benilde. He scored just moments ago, and this will allow Benilde to complete the penalty kill. Jefferson now 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Back to 5-on-5. Just over 10 and a half left in the period. What a save by Swanson.
Yeah, great play by Swanson to get over and just compete, as we keep talking about. He's a competitor.
Terrific movement. We saw that against Chaska on a couple of brilliant saves. Here's Brady Yakish teeing up a drive. Swanson pads that one aside. Stewart finds Gino Gotti. He's the extra skater tonight, 41 for Benilde. The junior in his first year for the Red Knights. Impressive shift here from Benilde after the power play.
Yeah,
Herbert.
They've got some momentum and they're starting to roll around. Jefferson's going to get it, and I'm guessing they'll probably just have to shoot it in and get a change, but we'll see how we do.
Well, Brady Burton's other idea is he carries it through, and Getter's on the backhand, denied by Limesand. Looked like Benilde passed it to Kyle Davis, but he really wasn't in a scoring position.
Yeah, it looked like Davis was trying to get cute there, maybe bank it off the back of the pad just to get something going. But face off in the Benilde zone, an opportunity to get something going here.
Nice rush up ice there from Brady Burton, making that play happen. Kicked out of the air, it's onside. Aaron Daniels fires wide. Little hacky sack action there from Sean Summerness, helping out the Jaguars. Here's another turnover. Parker Boone couldn't quite find the space to get the shot off as Limesand covers that one.
But I like the shift. You know, you established a forecheck. You've got 2 turnovers on one shift. You got almost 2 shots, and now you build on that. And let's see if we can get something going again.
There's Getters on that good look out front on the backhand, but Carson Limesand has had a terrific career. Over a 91% save percentage in his career for Benilde. As it's Marshall transitioning. Great defensive work by Summerness. Marshall not an easy cover. Summerness made that look pretty effortless. Pass intercepted by Pierce Tomka. Here comes Jefferson again. Tomka slides it in. Jefferson needs a change. Nice play here, Aiden Rasa-Bandith moving in. He gets hooked down, and a penalty coming.
Yeah, that stick was well in his arm. Great speed. Rasa-Bandith has great speed. The whole entire Rasa-Bandith family has great speed. I get to coach some of the younger brothers, but that speed created that. 19 for Benilde got caught flat-footed and had to use any measure he could, which was a stick in the arm. And Jefferson's back on the power play. Hopefully they can establish something. And
you can officially say they're due. Remember, 35.3%, 0 for 2 tonight. So the numbers would indicate maybe the third time is going to be the charm here for Jefferson. They start with a face-off win as well. Herbert unable to pry it free, though. Benilde clears. Third power play for Jefferson. Benilde yet to go on the man advantage. And again, if you score here, just a 2-goal game. Nick Hatton couldn't survive the check. They threw it out front. And what a save by Limesand. Denying Herbert on a point blank. Here's Getters. Getters snaps one off. Patted aside by Limesand. Hatton over to hold and does. What a save by Carson Limesand. Burton, though, sends one wide. Getters picks up the loose change, tried to get Daniels out front. Benilde does the rest. The Red Knights, some uncharacteristic turnovers in this, some inexplicable ones, including that last one right on the blade of Brett Herbert.
well, I've noticed that Jefferson has started to take the body a little more. They've started to put a little more pressure on that defense, and sometimes when that happens, you get a little panicky, and so we might be seeing some of that. Even from a number 2 team in the state, they're still 17-year-old kids, and they're still prone to be worried about the pressure. Good pressure here again by Jefferson.
A great shot fake from Brady Burton. Just couldn't find the space out front to get a good look. So we're now under 30 seconds remaining in a strong power play effort from Jefferson. Just haven't found one able to get by Carson Limesand yet. AJ Wang using some speed. Held up by Sarsland, 10 seconds to go in the power play. And Tristan Sarsland backhands it. It's into the Jaguar bench though, so an offensive zone face-off in the waning moments of a power play could provide Jefferson with another look.
Yeah, great shift there. AJ Wong came in, established a deep threat. Again, you see a little bit of Benilde, and it could be the long change. That second period's a long change. It's tough to get your D off. You're out there for maybe an extra 15 or 20 seconds, and we're seeing some mistakes, as you mentioned, and even some desperation by sending the puck into the crowd.
Face-off is to the corner. Here's Stewart. Negotiates around Rasa-Bandith, and out of the box comes Callahan. Look at Stewart, though, really fly. Nice blocker save from Luke Swanson. You can see why they're excited about number 10 in red, as Benilde is going to go shorthanded again. An interference call on Marshall well away from the play.
Well, like everybody else in the history of hockey, Marshall doesn't agree with the call, I can see, but clearly an interference call. The referee picked it up. He was on the far side wall and was right by the bench and saw something.
It didn't really affect the play, but it doesn't mean it's not a penalty. The first three on Benilde were fairly obvious calls. That one more of a 50-50 here, but now Jefferson for the fourth time on the man advantage tonight.
It's a good symptom of things that are beginning to change or going well. If you're getting penalty calls, that means you're working hard. Really, you don't get calls if you're not working hard or if you're not competing, and so this is a good sign that they're not giving up. They're trying to establish themselves and keep their feet moving, and like you said, they have a really high percentage, and let's see what they can do here.
Wanmacher for Tomka. Tomka's not able to get the pass off, and here's Mortensen the other way. Law leaves it for Kyle Davis. 3 defensemen out on this power play for Jefferson.
Yeah, and I'd say the number 2 unit as well. I don't know if that was a conscious decision or it just worked out with the shift, but number 2 unit starts this power play.
Minute 15, Jefferson will change it up now. Top group out there on the power play. Davis loses control at the Benilde blue line.
It's so important when you're on the power play to get the puck with control deep in order to set things up. And right now, Benilde is just not letting them cross the blue line.
Getters will give it a shot. Negotiates the first wave of traffic, then gloves and drops. Getters moving in, and a save by Limesand.
Yeah, then again, I'd still like to see Benny Getters. He stopped up just over the blue line and made the play, but I'd like to see him drive that deep, carry that puck deep, and establish something from under the goal line. Get that Benilde team to move around on the penalty kill.
Half a minute remaining of power play time. Nick Hatton got held up at the blue line again. Puck got dislodged. Benilde trying for a quick change here. Jefferson might catch them a little off guard. Daniels in a wrestling match over there with Ben Thompson. Here's Herbert for Nick Hatton. Hatton line drive, and Limesand gloves that like a catcher.
All caused by Aaron Daniels there. So there's a 50-50 puck on the just to the left of the goalie, and Daniels, as you said, in that wrestling match, but he won it. He's competing, and that puck comes all the way around back to Hatton. He gets a good shot from the point. Good play there by Aaron Daniels.
Jefferson now has equaled the amount of shots on goal they had all game against Benilde back in January. Off a face-off win, Logan Bonney able to get the shot off. But a much better second period for Jefferson, even though they trail 1-0 in the period. Gansky slides one into the red knight zone. Over 4 minutes remaining here, middle period, as we're more than halfway through this hockey game.
Again, that's where you're seeing the Jefferson success. You saw Gansky come in straight line through the neutral zone with speed, dump it deep, and then go hit somebody. And then Jefferson got the puck back and had an opportunity.
Brady Yakish pass disrupted by Jefferson. Yakish has it behind the Jaguar net. Bodied up along the glass by Samuel Lahl. Good physical play for number 2 in white. And Parker Boone slides it ahead. Wanmacher will give it a chase. Daniels touched it on the wrong side of the blue line. That allows Benilde to clear. Centering pass for Callahan, broken up on a nice stick by Davis as Sarsland backpedals at neutral. Josh Powers along with Andy Kubis and our BEC-TV crew. Delayed penalty, I believe, here to Jefferson. Will give Benilde their first power play of the game. Glad you're with us tonight on BEC-TV. A hooking call here to Kyle Davis. And strangely enough, Andy, for a team, last time out they scored a dozen goals. They're number 2 in the state, undefeated. You look down at their power play, it's not horrible by any means, but 18.8%. you'd expect that number to be a bit higher, but that just shows you how strong they've been 5-on-5, Benilde.
That's exactly right. Their 5-on-5 game is really, really good. I'd be interested to see what happens here, how they run that power play to only be at 18% with as much skill as they have. But I know that Jefferson's also been working on their kill. And there's your best penalty killer no matter what, whether you're playing NHL 21 or you're watching the game. Your goalie's your best penalty killer, and Swanee's up to the task there.
Yeah, Jefferson's penalty kill needs to improve to 64.3% this year. So a good challenge right here against the top line really for Benilde. You've got Bisson out there along with Marshall, Mortensen, Sarsland, and Callahan. So 5 pretty explosive and experienced guys. First power play chance for the Red Knights in this game. Marshall wins that draw clean. Sarsland. Callahan. Sarsland will quarterback it. One-timer Marshall ripped it wide. Sarsland throws it out front and they score on the rebound. Benilde had both Mortensen and Marshall over there. Mortensen and just a heady pass to slide it over to Marshall for the easy put away.
Yeah, it really was. I tell you, as Jefferson rotated into their diamond and the puck came up high, I think there was a little miscommunication in who was going up, and pass came over to Bisson, and he was able to put it in. There was only one guy down. I think there was actually 3 Benilde players there. It was a 3-on-1 essentially at the goal mouth, and a pretty easy tap-in goal.
That one will hurt Mortensen in the morning, but feels pretty good right now. He set up that goal with the great pass to Bisson. So Bisson scoring his 5th goal of the year and 22nd in his career for the senior captain. And that Red Knight power play number just got a little bit bigger with that goal. Their 6th power play goal of the year. Jefferson trying to counter here late in the period, now trailing 4-0. 2 goals in each period for the Red Knights. Aiden Wallstrom for Benilde over to Peter Geertsen. This is the first time I believe we've seen the 4th line for Benilde in this game. It's Aiden Wallstrom, Ryan Gearin, and Peter Geertsen. Parker Boone the other way for Jefferson. Sends it in at the end of a shift. Coming up on the final 90 seconds of this second period. With speed, Brady Yakish. Kick save made by Swanson. Up to 27 saves now for the sophomore. Here's Brett Herbert, 3-on-2 with Getters and Burton. Drops it back, Burton over for Getters, who got a piece of it but missed wide. Tomka trying desperately to hold but cannot. Mortensen the other way. Mortensen, his shot redirected and not in.
No.
It slid past Swanson but wide.
Yeah, he competed again. I think that one went right over the goal, right across the goal line.
And then Burton to Getters. That did not miss by much, but he was being hounded at from behind, attempting to redirect that pass in. Play opening up a little bit here in the final couple of minutes of the second period.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you're Jefferson, you'd like this to get out of this with 4-0 and establish some kind of comeback in the third period. Those goals in the last minute kill you. Either that or score one and make a presence before the end of the second period here.
Callahan high off the wall, half minute to play. Gansky, good idea to try to get Logan Bonney free. Here's a turnover by Yakish. Bonney pries it loose, tried to get it to Aiden the Bandit, but it's stolen by Callahan. Ken Pauley's not going to be excited about some of these turnovers. Benilde wants an interference. Are they going to get it late?
I think he's going to take them both, John.
Okay. Now it might, they looked at an instant replay. That one might go against Jefferson. They'd be fortunate to survive this without going down a player, and that's apparently what's going to happen, as Hatton may have been guilty of an interference, but then at the end of the play, he was hauled down by Ellings, and I think that's why you don't see just Hatton go off there.
Yeah, and I think you were really spot on before you say the play is opening up, and as a referee team, they know that too. And so if they can establish a little order before it opens up too much, and I think that might be a little bit of what you're seeing here is just setting the bar about what they're going to accept and what they're not going to accept.
Near miss right at the end of the period, but another productive period for Benilde. Jefferson looked very good at times, for sure, Andy, but at the end of the day, Benilde scores twice more in this period and now doubles their lead up to 4-0.
Yeah, a lot of firepower on that Benilde team. You know, they move so well. They seem to know where each other are going. Like I said, they put the puck where only their teammates can get it. They support the puck well. Find the Jefferson team running around a little bit on their heels. So now as you go in, from Coach Terwilliger, I'm talking about competing. I'm talking about popping one in the first couple of minutes and just seeing what might happen. It's an easy game when you're standing up here. I'll be the first guy to tell you that. But when Jefferson puts the puck deep and they start rolling around and applying that forecheck, there's a lot of turnovers by Coach Pauley's team. And so if they can establish that more, then it'd be interesting to see how that third period goes.
Time for us to break for the second intermission. Stick around for the third. It's Benilde leading Jefferson 4-0 as you're watching Jaguar hockey on BEC-TV.
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
back on BEC-TV, 4-0 as we get ready for the third period. Alongside our BEC-TV crew and Andy Kubis, Josh Powers with you. 2 in the first for Benilde, 2 more in the second as we look at the second period highlights. So Red Knights out shooting Jefferson in that period 14-7. Jefferson had their fair share of chances. Here's a close-in one from Parker Boone. The other way, I know he's given up 4 goals, but continue to be impressed with Luke Swanson for Jefferson. Couldn't stop them all, though, as that rebound was punched home by Drew Stewart. That made it 3-0. Benilde took a few penalties in that period. Parker Boone was hauled down, or that would have been a grade A scoring chance. Swanson here, acrobatic save.
Great competitor.
Terrific save from Swanson. Here's another good Jaguar chance. Benny Getters on the backhand, stoned out front. Another look at that one. Obviously, Carson Limesand's got the experience, and he's a steadying influence back there.
Yeah, 4-year starter, and his heart rate doesn't get too high. He gets in front of the shots, make sure he knows where they're going.
Benilde would take another penalty here. These are obvious penalties, Andy. Jefferson just being hauled down.
Yeah, I really like the way they continue to move their feet. They're not giving up. They can continue to compete. And like I said, the penalties are when you keep moving your feet and the other team drags you down. And so if they can continue to that, that's a great thing to start with.
See a couple of penalties there. Here's the Benilde power play goal. Jackson Bisson on that beautiful feed from Mortensen, who just wears this shot. When you got up, what you don't see is him starting. You can already see it there. He's holding his thigh right where he got smacked by that puck, but he got it to his teammate for the goal.
And there's that offsetting penalty that we talked about. And again, I would say at the end of a period, it was starting to open up, as you keenly made aware. And so I think it's the referees just establishing a little order as we move into this last period, especially with a 4-0 lead. If Jefferson scored, it's a hockey game. If Benilde gets a couple, then oftentimes frustration comes out, and so the referee's setting that high water mark. This is what I'm going to allow and what I'm not going to allow, and a good coaching staff and good players realize that this is the mark now, and if you cross it, we warned you, in other words.
Benilde headed out for their final period at the Bloomington Ice Garden this year. They'd probably like to come back if they could. Outscoring Jefferson and Kennedy so far in the year 16-0 in this building. Most of that coming last week against Kennedy. Here's Jefferson. We'll see them again on Saturday against Kennedy. Should be a hotly contested one again, and you know Kennedy wants to play a lot better than they did earlier in the year, where Jefferson really kind of blew them out 7-2.
Yeah, I was at that game scouting a couple different players, and so I was looking at it differently, but for sure Jefferson controlled that game, and Kennedy has a score to settle for sure, and we'll probably see that Saturday. As far as this third period here goes, Josh, I would say if you're Jefferson, you want to establish something right away. Your first 3 shifts are your most important. You want to get everybody on the ice working. You want to get the puck deep. You want to roll around and just establish a forecheck. Feel good about yourself. Pop in a goal. Pop in a couple. And if you're Benilde, I'm sure Coach Pauly talked about the very same thing. They're going to come out flying. Let's 3 or 4 shifts. Keep the puck deep on Jefferson. Don't let them establish anything. And then let's win the game. And so I always like games like this. The first 3 or 4 shifts of that third period really tell you what the rest of the game will probably be like.
As you're scouting, Andy, for the various levels you scout for, what are you looking for? Let's take this level, high school Minnesota State, high school hockey, at that Class 2 level. What are some things you're looking for as you evaluate some of the players?
Well, right away you're looking for skill. Who's got elite skill? Who's got elite speed? Who knows what to do with the puck? A lot of times that's what they do with it when they don't have the puck. And then every scout's got their, and it's an offside call there, but every scout's got their thing that they look for. And for me, it's what I call being on the right side of the puck. So understanding how to be on the defensive side of the puck. And then I really like to see a kid struggle on a shift, Josh. I like to see him either get hit or give the puck away, because I like to see how he responds. The next shift out, does he hide on the ice? Does he go to the safe part, or does he stick his nose right in there? And so lots of different things to look for.
Yeah, I like some of those other things you said. It's easy to pick out maybe the fastest guy or the guy with the best set of hands, but some of those other intangibles, I think, you know, parents and coaches and kids out there, I think it's good for them to hear those types of messages.
Well, the story I love to tell is, you know, hockey talent aside, Austin Matthews from the Toronto Maple Leafs, when they asked that coaching staff and that administration, when did you know that Austin Matthews was your #1 pick? The response that the Toronto Maple Leafs had was classic. They said it had really nothing to do with hockey. We knew he was a good hockey player, but when we picked him up at the airport, he held the door open for his mom and his sister, and the way that he treated his mom and his sister, we knew that we had the right guy.
There you go. Jefferson trying to establish, as you said, Andy, here in the third period. This will be waved off. Icing will be waved off. Yakish maybe didn't realize it, gives it away to Parker Boone out front, and Jefferson scores!
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. Get that puck deep, roll around, you never know what can happen. You start to feel good about yourself, and now with just under 16 minutes left, it's a hockey game. You know,
Aaron Daniels, Jefferson kept playing, Benilde stopped.
Yeah, it was a little. I think there was a little confusion around the goalie there for Benilde had the signal to his defenseman that it was going to be icing. The referees had clearly called it off for the linesman, sorry, but good break for Jefferson. Aaron Daniels, you know, bring your lunch bucket and score a goal like that and establish something.
Here come the Jaguars again. It's Herbert trying to get to the backhand against Yakish, who just moments ago inexplicably gave up basically that goal, and now behind the play, Brady Burton got shoved into the far wall.
I saw something happen in front of the net. I don't know if he was tripped or if he was slashed.
His stick is not where he ended up. Another look at this, just a hard-working, you love these goals too. A team goal, you got multiple guys continuing to hustle and play hard, good things happen.
Yeah, and there's the confusion we talked about. Goalie with his hand up, signaling to the defenseman that he thought it was icing, and then Jefferson capitalized on the mistake, and that's where your goals are scored, right in front of the net. Good for Aaron Daniels. He's played a good game tonight.
It was clearly waved off. I saw the official at center, basically almost at center ice right away as that puck started sailing through. Clear indication, so credit Jefferson. They continued to play. I think there's going to be some things, we talked about it through the second period, that are not going to surprise and delight Ken Pauley about the way Benilde's played in this game, even though they lead by 3.
Yeah, and I like the way that Jefferson just went to the net there. I think at the beginning of the game, I watched a lot of attempted toe drags and YouTube goals, as I call them, highlight goals, and now they're just going to the net. And again, Jefferson, with all respect intended, they're not going to win a track meet against Benilde St. Margaret. They're going to win by mucking it up and scoring goals like Aaron Daniels did. So the more they can do that, the better they off they are.
Benny Getters from a short angle. Limesand hangs on. Jaguars up to 18 shots on goal now.
And Coach Terwilliger goes right back with the Daniels line. And so he senses that the tables have turned. He senses that momentum is going. He's going to put a hot line out there, so we'll see how they do.
This group has played well all night. They maybe don't have the speed of the Getters line. They've been in the right spots tonight. Here's Blake Wanmacher. He gets run into. Benilde heads the other way, no call there. Here's Jackson Bisson, centers it out front. Swanson the save, and he denies the rebound as well. Terrific stuff from the sophomore. That's how quickly Benilde can respond those, especially with that top line out there against the Jaguar second line. As those matching minors from way back in the second period. I almost forgot about Nick Hatton and Grant Ellings, but they're out of the box now. Watch Luke Swanson here, not only in the initial shot, Andy, but the rebound as well.
Yeah, again, it's the name I'm saying over and over, but Aaron Daniels got a piece of him, got a piece of his guy, didn't get a clear shot, and then Swanson makes 2 great saves before the puck comes out and face off in the neutral zone.
Aaron Daniels, by the way, second goal of the year for him. And give the assist to Parker Boone on that one for the Jaguars. For Boone, that's his 4th assist of the year. Nice.
Good adjustment by Jefferson that I picked up there on their breakout. We had Benilde St. Margaret really pinching on the boards, and the Jefferson, the last 2 times they've gone up the middle of the ice, where that has to be a coaching adjustment in between the periods.
Blocker saved by Limesand on a long distance try by Nick Hatton. Jackson Bisson gets around Davis. Waits and hits it right off the post. A dangerous Bisson with already a goal tonight. Finds Marshall. Marshall dangling between the circles. And finally rubbed out by Aiden Rassabandith as Jefferson needs to relieve some of that pressure.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do, you've established the forecheck, you established that you're rolling around a little bit. You don't want to give that momentum back. So to a casual fan, that's an icing. Really good play actually though, because what you're going to do now is you get a restart, win the draw, go up that weak side and start going again.
High school game, you are allowed to change even when you ice the puck. So as you said, not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you've got the Benilde first liners out there. So Jefferson brings back their top line. Here's Mortensen. Sarsland, and not able to keep that one in, apparently, or actually a whistle away from the play, excuse me. I was gonna say it looked onside to me, but I think that whistle came from away from the puck.
I caught a cross check by number 11 Benilde in front of the net. They were battling in front of the net, and usually it's the retaliation that gets called, and that's exactly what happened there.
So power play number 5 for Jefferson. They came in at 35.3%. There's still 13 minutes left in this game, Andy. There's still time for Jefferson to put a little scare in the Red Knights as they win this draw to Brady Burton. Finds Getters on a diagonal pass, rebound in front, Daniels hammering away, but Limesand holds strong. Daniels over to Burton. Mortensen blocks that pass, unable to clear though. Aaron Daniels weaving and firing, blockered aside by Limesand. And now Brett Herbert. Mortensen chance to clear and sends it not into the bench, but it made it clean all the way down on the other side. So the Red Knights clear, they can change.
And here's where Jefferson struggled. So making the entry on this power play, you'll see Benilde, how they stack up. They clog every lane that they can. Jefferson has to dump it in and see if they can go get it and establish something here.
Daniels and Herbert working on it in the corner for Jefferson. And it's center Alan Marshall. None of a chance shorthanded, joined by Ellings. Pass for Ellings, deflected by Burton, and Hatton picks it up behind his own net. 50 to go in the power play. 5th of the night for Jefferson, who have only been shorthanded once in this game. And Wayne can't get a piece of it, so an icing call on Jefferson, and will allow them to complete a change, but a face-off in their own end.
Watch that Benilde team here on the penalty kill, Josh. They send 3 at the blue line and force you to go in between them, and then that first guy will shade you one way or another and really direct you where they want you to go. And so what you saw there was trying to go against the grain to make sure that they could get into the zone, and just a couple feet out.
Red Knights win that draw to Thompson, who scored way back in the first period to open the scoring for Benilde. Jefferson, meanwhile, changed up its power play unit here for the final 40 seconds. Here's Pierce Tomka trying to break that wall at the blue line that Benilde sets up, and that time could not. Jefferson about to be 0 for 5 on the power play. Here's Davis trying to rewrite that sentence that I just uttered, but not enough time to pull it off.
And that's the way you break that. You fake to the wall and you kick the middle of the ice and establish it that way. So really good job by Davis there.
Back to 5-on-5. Just over 11 minutes left in this third period. Jefferson continuing to battle hard against Benilde. Here's another turnover out front and a dangerous deflection right over the head of Carson Limesand. Nifty pass. Logan Bonney, just not enough angle. Good recovery from Tristan Sarsland. Here's a pass out front. Sticked to the corner by Luke Swanson. Now up to 32 saves. But it's offside at the line.
Yeah, great play there on that last rush by Jefferson.
Another look, that chance by Jefferson on another turnover in the Benilde end. Just over the shoulder of Carson Limesand. Remember, Jefferson was outshot by Benilde in the earlier game, 53-15. A much closer and different story in this game, but still Benilde leads by the same margin as they won last month's game by 3. Lervik tracks it down. Tristan Sarsland. Here's the exciting freshman Stewart already with a goal tonight. That shot blocked though by Lahl. Risto turned it over. And Jefferson with numbers. Brady Burton. His shot blocked. He had Herbert in front. Herbert sends it around for Getters. Delayed penalty, number 6, coming to Benilde. Jefferson trying to get the extra skater on. And Burton tied up, trying to get to the loose puck. Benilde touches up. Jefferson going on power play number 6.
Yeah, with elbow to the face there in the just to the left of the goaltender, and so Jefferson, like you said, will go on power play number 6.
Officially, it's a roughing call.
Coach Pauly doesn't seem to agree with the call.
In fact, refusing to send anyone to the penalty box yet. I don't think he can get away with that without the game resuming. And in disgust, Jackson Bisson, or correction, that's Michael Risto, the freshman, skates into the penalty box. Their line chart says freshman, but you could be right. Here's Brady Burton. Power play number 6 for Jefferson. 35.3% on the year, but a tough Benilde penalty kill. We haven't mentioned that number yet, but 94.4 outstanding on the kill so far. Daniels backhand chance.
Yeah, they put Aaron Daniels in what's called the bumper roll, so he'll fly between from the top of the crease to the bottom up into the slot, and he'll be open from time to time, and he's just the kind of guy to be there. He's tough, and he's not afraid to get hit, and he made a really nice play there.
Here's Hatton again. Fakes going to the up along the wall to the middle. I think that's the secret sauce that Jefferson's figured out against this penalty kill for Benilde. Unfortunately, it was offside.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot, if you're an NHL fan, you'll see a lot of that, this kind of wall we're talking about. The way the NHL or even college players, the way they combat that is they'll send a pass back to the blue line and someone will pick it up with speed, and they'll come in with speed through the middle of the ice. Now, it's a rather advanced move that we wouldn't necessarily see at the high school level, but either way, get to the middle of the ice and stay off of the wall.
Here's Grant Ellings shorthanded, ran into Blake Wanmacher. And Jefferson midway through power play number 6. So far just one shot on goal as Davis heads back for it again. Midway through the third period, Jefferson threatening to make this a game. They would certainly do that with the goal here.
That's a great play there by A.J. Wong. He broke the pressure, put it deep, and let his guys go get it. They're 2-on-1. Unfortunate break there.
Ellings gets around Kyle Davis. Trying to be tracked down by Samuel Lahl, and he does the job. Well played by number 2 in white. Here's Davis again. He'll lift it into the zone. Thompson deposits it the other way before Jefferson can react. And now it's going to be a breakaway for Bisson. Stonewall by Swanson.
Great play by Swanson there. Good positioning.
Benny Getters, shot fake, looking for options. Penalty is over, but Jefferson still possesses in the Benilde end. It's Herbert off the wall for a one-timer by Summerness, but didn't get all of it. Asher Connolly, quiet night for him, but feeds Marshall. Big rebound given up by Swanson, and it was blocked by the Jaguar traffic out front. Sarsland's drive redirects wide. Here's Marshall, trying to get around Hatton. He finds Connolly. Connolly to Yakish. Yakish holds, sends it across, nearly intercepted by Getters, but Sarsland has it and fires wide. Tipped away, here's Brady Burton. Burton moving in, and he misses wide.
End of a shift for Burton. He did all he could to kind of get his legs going and try to establish something, but he's gassed.
Credit Limesand too, he came out to cut down that angle. Here's Marshall. Taken away by Pierce Tomka. Connolly takes it away from him to find Marshall out front. The one-timer blocked though by Davis. And we have a penalty on the Jaguars. A high sticking call, it looks like. Will send Benilde on the man advantage for the second time in the game.
Yeah, Brady.
What a save here, Luke Swanson. This is Jackson Bisson, a guy with 21 goals in his Benilde career, the captain, and the sophomore making his second start. Just denies him on a breakaway.
Yeah, really good save there. And the penalty, we talked about Burton, hard worker. Came back to pick up a guy and just got tied up with him in front of the net. High sticking on Brady Burton, and we'll see Benilde on the power play here.
Here's Sarsland to Marshall. Great pass, Connolly walking in, diagonal feed. Ellings punches it in. What a pass from Asher Connolly.
Yeah, they got the box moving, Josh, the power play box. They got it moving, and they went right through the seam to the guy sitting on the goal mouth there. That's a goal in any league. Minnesota High School League and the National League. That's a goal anywhere.
And this power play for Benilde, after struggling all year, just 3 power play goals. Struggling, I guess, is a relative term. They were almost 20%, but 2 for 2 tonight. Things moving in the right direction with a pass like that from Asher Connolly. My goodness. Swanson had no chance. So 5-1 now for the visitors with under 6 minutes to play. And a big hit from Pierce Tomka. And the officials call that quickly. They might need to tighten the ship a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a hard hit. Couldn't actually see where he got him, but I certainly heard the sound. And you're absolutely right. You know, oftentimes when you get these high school games, you'll get 2 referees, and they don't spend a lot of time talking about the way their style, but clearly with a 5-1 game, and here's the hit by Tonka.
Might be a 5-minute variety too as well. 5 in a game here, we'll see.
Looked like an elbow got up a little bit. Well, he's a big man. I think he's about 6'5", and so his elbows are up no matter what. But at this time of the game, like I said, referee's going to try to take control, make sure it doesn't get out of hand. You've noticed some grit out of Jefferson, some frustration in the last couple of shifts. A good referee will take control of the game so kids don't get hurt and so that players are understanding what their limitations are.
I think you're spot on as we start Benilde's third power play. Same combo that just scored, and they score again.
Yeah, it's really difficult. You've got that box that Jefferson runs, and Benilde's got so much skill. They make that box move, and the cross seam is always open, and that's what you saw there. It was right across the rink to a wide open guy. He went low stick and beat Swanson before Swanee could get over.
James Callahan deposits it. His second goal of the year. 3 for 3 now, the Benilde power play. And I think, well, I was about to finish that point, but I think you're spot on with that word frustration. Jefferson's given great effort in this game. They've certainly played much better. At least the box score would look that way in terms of the flow of the game, shots on goal, but yet they lost 5-2 last month, and now they trail by 5.
Right. Yeah, they competed, they worked hard. Again, Benilde has a lot of skill, and Benilde's goaltender, when he's needed to, he's come up big. And so, you know, you're putting in all the work and you're not getting a lot of dividends for it. It gets to be frustrating.
Benilde trying for a 7th goal. That one slid through the crease by Ryan Gearin. Thompson misses high. And now Samuel Lahl with 5 minutes to play here from the Ice Garden. Heads into the Jaguar bench.
Always an interesting coaching decision when you're down 6-1 with 5 minutes left. You know, you put lines together that might make a difference. You're looking for combinations that might work the next time. You're looking for guys who've been competing tonight, rewarding them. And then you're looking for maybe players who haven't played a whole lot and giving them an opportunity to see how they respond. So lots of ways that Coach Terwilliger and his staff can go with 5 minutes left.
Here's Ellings. We've scored on the power play. Not too long ago, but it was less recent than the Callahan goal. Getter's trying to track it down. Here's Brady Burton. He's had a strong game tonight, in my opinion. What a move there! And he just misses, sniping the top corner. Brady Burton has been impressive tonight, certainly for Jefferson.
Yeah, he's got great skill. And as you saw there, beautiful toe drag around the defenseman. He tried to go top corner. Nice play there.
That would have maybe made your YouTube goal list, I think. But in that situation, it wasn't like he had a guy opposite him. It was basically him by himself on the rush.
Absolutely. And credit to him for shooting the puck. You know, a lot of times we'll see kids try to make one more move, and he's got his shot, and let's use it.
Callahan trying for another goal. Blockered aside by Luke Swanson. His numbers aren't going to look as strong as they did against Chaska, but he's made some tough saves and some good saves tonight. 37 of them so far with 4 minutes to play. Gino Gotti for Benilde. Draws an interference here on Hatton.
Yeah, Nick Hatton there. Feet stopped moving, and when the player went the other way, he reached out just instinctively to try to slow him down and got caught up.
So now Benilde, mentioned just one power play chance until very late in this game, now on their fourth, and they're already 3 for 3. As you would expect, though, they put a younger line out there, Ken Pauley does, on this man advantage number 4.
The game pretty much in hand, giving people different opportunities to be successful. At some point, they're going to be upperclassmen, and you want to make sure they have that expertise.
Here's Yakish, along with Thompson. They do have Connolly out there, but he's joined by the freshman Stewart and Nick Mikan, number 11. Connolly waits, finds Stewart. Maybe making one too many moves there, lost control of it, but able to help track it down. Here's Mikan. Feeds Thompson. Yakish moving in, back to Thompson. He winds and fires. Another pad save for Luke Swanson. Jefferson yet to clear on this man advantage halfway through. Yakish line drive right into the equipment of Sean Summerness, who sends it all the way down. .45 to go in the penalty, and 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Here's Asher Connolly, whiffed on it. Picked up though, Yakish from close range, rebound to Mikan, and able to recover Swanson, then lost control of it, but Herbert is there for Jefferson.
Yeah, great play by Swanson there to make sure that he stopped the puck, and Jefferson had an opportunity to get the puck out. It didn't get out, and that's where he got that extra chance.
Final 2 minutes. Asher Connolly trying to keep the perfect night on the power play going. A last fling from the point, gloved by Swanson at the end of the penalty. So Benilde will finish 3 for 4 on the power play. So we're down to 1:44 remaining.
Yeah, 1:44 left. You just want to finish the game competing. Establish something perhaps for your next game Saturday. They're against Kennedy here. You want to grab something, hold on to something that you did well, and that's a good start with the win of the faceoff.
Bonnie swats it in for Jefferson. We'll have it for you on BEC-TV. Jefferson and Kennedy, Battle of Bloomington on Saturday afternoon. JV coverage at 1. Varsity will take to the ice at 3:15. Thompson winds and fires, rebound given up, but shoving it toward the corner with Swanson. Wang tips it in at the end of a shift. Jefferson won't have to see Benilde St. Margaret's again, thankfully for them, at least in the regular season.
Yeah, they're up 6-1, and Ken Pauly's team takes advantage of a Jefferson change, tries to stretch the ice. That just went through the player's feet, and we have an icing call. Again, if I'm on the Jefferson bench, I'm trying to establish something here in the last 53 seconds, make sure that I've got something to build on as this season continues.
What's been impressive about Benilde, they're going to be 7-0 now. Just one of those wins has been by less than 3 goals this year. So they've just been steamrolling everyone. That's why they're up to number 2 in the rankings.
So you can see, Josh, the details of their game are really, really strong. From penalty kill to power play, they do everything right. They put the puck where only their player can get it, like we talked about before. On the penalty kill, they're making you work to establish the zone. They just do so many things well. A lot of attention to detail. It comes from having a lot of great horses, but they're coached well as well.
Final half minute. Out front, a dangerous area, but another shot blocked by Aaron Daniels. He's had a strong game for Jefferson tonight as well. Benilde's going to have some tougher tests down the line. They still have yet to face EP and Hill Murray, as well as St. Thomas Academy.
I got to see St. Thomas Academy last week play Hastings. That's a good hockey team with Jackson Hallam, who's a pick of the Vegas Knights. And then, as you mentioned, EP and Benilde and Maple Grove are changing places every week in 1, 2, 3 in the state. So some opponents coming up for Benilde St. Margaret.
But tonight it is Benilde's night as they win it 6-1. A much stronger game for Jefferson, it would appear. I didn't see the earlier game against Benilde, but the first game they're outshot 53-15. And here, Jefferson, I think, put a little bit more charge into Benilde, who had to respond in a different way tonight. Thanks to that power play unit, that was really the difference. Jefferson finishes 0 for 5 on the power play, Benilde 3 for 4.
Yeah, they knock a couple of those in, Josh, and then maybe it's a different hockey game, or at least you give yourself a fighting chance. But if I'm the coaching staff of Jefferson, I've certainly got some things that I can build on. That forecheck, when it's established, worked really, really well. They didn't give up. There was a lot of compete there. And as I've heard before in the game of hockey, you know, the other team gets to try too. And so you can design whatever you want, but the other team gets to try. They want to win just as bad as you want to win, and sometimes it doesn't work out in your favor. But lots of things to build on for Jefferson. It's the number 2 team in the state for a reason. They're 7-0, as you talked about, and now it's time to go back to the drawing board and come up with a plan for Saturday.
And it's a lot easier and maybe less frustrating to go back to that drawing board when you know your next game is against Kennedy.
Right.
And that's going to be the case on Saturday as we look at the highlights from this one. You see Ken Pauly there.
And here's that miscommunication. You see the goaltender there signaling icing. His players stopped, and Jefferson takes advantage of it. Aaron Daniels, where exactly where he wants to be. He gets 2 whacks at it and puts it in.
It's Jefferson's lone goal of the game. That was kind of indicative of how this game was played. Jefferson, I thought, played with more effort than Benilde at most of the times in this game, and they were rewarded with that effort right there. But the Red Knights were not done yet, even though making it difficult. Luke Swanson, nearly 40 saves for him tonight.
And again, just in a great position there, tracking the puck well, getting his body in the right position.
Another look as Jackson Bisson stonewalled by Swanson.
I've seen Swanee play since he was a young kid, and he's always been technically sound. And so we saw that tonight.
Jefferson had some near misses. Again, 6, I said 5 power plays earlier. It was 6. They go 0 for 6 on the power play. Jefferson's not going to do that probably again this season. So you see that beautiful feed from Connolly, the tap-in goal on the power play. Benilde finishes with 3 power play goals on the night.
Yeah, and that's that cross-seam pass, and there's the Tonka penalty. again, I don't know that he was targeting necessarily. He's a big guy and his hands are up. It was a good hit. It was a loud hit, but I think it's just, again, as we talked about, a lot of the referee just trying to establish what's going to happen in the last couple of minutes, and a potentially frustrating game for the white and blue team.
Benilde kept the foot on the gas pedal here later in the third period. They're going to be a tough team to beat with all that experience and talent. It's a combination you don't see that often when you get a bunch of guys that have been, major contributors to a big-time program like Benilde for 3, even 4 years. Benilde's got several of those guys. That's why they're number 2, knocking on that door of number 1 in the state.
Yeah, as you're heading into playoff season, state tournament season, you want a couple different things. You want a couple lines that can roll. They've got that. They've got an elite first line. You want a goalie who's going to keep you in the game. They've got that. And then you want some role players, and you want some youth. And again, with number 10 coming in late, he's established himself as someone who can drive a line too. And so, when you're looking at those lines, you want to be able to have someone on every line who can transport the puck. They certainly have that. And then you want someone who can dig it out of the corner. They got that. And then the rest kind of looks after itself. So great hockey team, deserved to be number 2 in the state, and it'll be interesting to see where they end up.
Our next Jaguar broadcast, Saturday afternoon. We'll have varsity and JV coverage. Battle of Bloomington, Part 2. Jefferson will be going for the sweep. JV takes there at 1 o'clock. Varsity at 3:15. Really enjoyed it, Andy. Great to have you on the broadcast.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right, that'll wrap it up for hockey Tuesday night in Bloomington. Benilde wins it 6-1. For our entire BEC-TV crew, for Andy Kubis, Josh Powers saying good night from the Bloomington Ice Garden.